The galaxy had grown quiet. For centuries it had moved on as if a shadow had been erased. The name of humanity, once spoken with fear and respect, had been buried in dust and old records. Alien children learned stories of them the same way children once learned about ancient beasts, creatures that existed long ago, but were gone forever. Humanity was only a tale, a whisper, a warning. No one believed they could return. Empires stretched across the stars without challenge. Alien fleets patrolled endless systems, fighting over resources, power, and pride. They mocked the humans who had once burned bright. Too fragile, the leaders said. Too violent. They destroyed themselves. With every passing year, the galaxy forgot more, and the silence of humanity became part of the stars themselves. But silence is never empty. On the far edge of the known galaxy, beyond the trade routes and the safe maps, something stirred. A lone alien scout ship traveled through dead space, its crew half asleep at their posts. They were not expecting anything. No empire claimed these coordinates. No stars burned brightly here. It was a forgotten corner of the universe. The ship's sensors caught something. An echo, a pulse, a whisper in the black. At first the crew laughed. "It is nothing but old radiation," they said. A broken star signal, but the echo returned again. And this time it carried a pattern. It was not random. It was not natural. It was code. The captain leaned closer to the screen. He did not recognize the language, but his second officer did. Her voice shook when she spoke. "This is human code, ancient, centuries old." The crew stared in silence. The word felt strange on their tongues. Human. They thought it was only myth. Yet here it was, proof, a message from something long dead. Fear spread quickly. They tried to scan deeper to find the source. Their screens flickered with static. Then through the darkness, their sensors caught the shape. It was massive, larger than anything they had ever seen. At first they thought it was an asteroid, a dead rock floating between stars. But as they looked closer, their hearts froze. It was a ship, an enormous ancient vessel, black against black, so still that the void had hidden it for centuries. The hull was scarred, its surface rough and broken by age, yet even damaged, its design was unmistakable. Human. The scout captain ordered retreat, but it was too late. Their ship's engines slowed as if caught by unseen hands. Power dropped. Lights flickered. The alien crew panicked, shouting across the bridge, but the giant vessel gave no sign of life. No weapons fired. No engines burned. It only floated, watching. Then the whisper grew louder. The signal repeated, now clear enough to cut through their comms. A single phrase. A single warning. "We are awake." The alien crew froze. The voice was mechanical, distorted, yet heavy with meaning. It was not a request. It was not a cry for help. It was a declaration. The captain tried to send a warning back to his empire, but before the message could leave, the screens went dark. Their ship drifted powerless in the shadow of the giant. No one screamed. No one moved. They only stared at the impossible truth. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was waiting. In the following weeks, whispers spread. Merchant ships vanished near the border stars. Patrols sent to investigate returned broken, their crews trembling, unable to speak. Every survivor told the same story. A dark shape in the void, larger than cities, older than any fleet, carrying the mark of humans. The alien councils gathered in secret. They argued, fought, shouted at one another. Some refused to believe. Others remembered the old wars, the way humans had fought with fire that no one could match. Fear grew like a sickness. Across the galaxy, the silence changed. It was no longer empty. It was heavy. It carried weight. Every shadow in space felt alive, as if something waited behind it. Every long-range scan seemed to hold strange noise, an echo of the same ancient code. The empires tried to calm their people. They said it was only myth. They said humanity was a story used to frighten children. But fear has no master. And somewhere in the deepest part of space, the great vessel began to move. Slowly. Quietly. Its engines, silent for centuries, glowed faintly once more. The forgotten silence of humanity was ending. The galaxy would soon remember. The whispers would not stop. Across markets, taverns, and military halls, the same rumor spread. Humans had returned. At first, leaders dismissed it. They called it the noise of frightened traitors, the imagination of weak soldiers. But fear has a way of growing, and this fear moved faster than fleets. In the Galactic Council, rulers from a dozen empires sat in a vast chamber lit by cold blue light. Their faces were different, scales, feathers, metal masks, but all shared the same shadow in their eyes. Reports were placed on the table: broken patrol ships, lost freighters, terrified survivors. Each spoke of the same thing: a dark vessel drifting through the void. One counselor slammed his clawed hand against the table. "This is nonsense. Humans are dead. They destroyed themselves. I will not listen to ghost stories." But an older voice replied, trembling yet sharp, "You are wrong. I fought them once. I saw their fire. If they are back, none of us are safe." The chamber grew quiet. Memories hung heavy in the air. Even centuries later, the legends of human wars had not faded. They had fought with a kind of madness, a hunger no empire could match. They lost worlds, yet they never surrendered. And when they won, they burned through enemies as if no one could stand before them. The Council ordered fleets to patrol the border stars. Dozens of warships left in formation, their hulls shining like blades. Soldiers laughed nervously, telling one another it was just a mission to hunt smugglers. But when night fell inside their ships, each soldier wondered if the stories were true. Days passed. The fleets moved deeper into the silence. At first there was nothing. Empty space. Cold stars. But then one by one signals began to vanish. A patrol would check in, then disappear. A destroyer would send a final scream before its lights went out. No battles were seen. No wrecks were found. Only silence remained. Commanders argued over the data. It is sabotage. It is mechanical failure. But deep down everyone knew. The shadows were not empty anymore. Something hunted them. In a mining colony on the far edge, a young alien worker was the first to see it clearly. He was standing outside his station repairing a beacon when the stars shifted. A shape moved across the sky, so huge it blocked out entire constellations. His tool slipped from his hands. It was the vessel, a city of metal drifting through the dark. Its hull was ancient, cracked yet alive. Strange lights flickered across its body, patterns that pulsed like breathing. The worker fell to his knees, whispering the word he had been told was only a myth: human. Before he could flee, the beacon crackled. A voice spoke in a language long buried, but the machines translated it automatically. The same words echoed again: "We are awake." The colony erupted in panic. Some tried to flee in transports, but their engines failed as soon as they rose. Others hid in bunkers, trembling in the dark. The massive ship did not fire. It did not destroy. It only watched. Then, as silently as it had come, it drifted back into the black, leaving behind nothing but terror. When news reached the Council, chaos broke out. Some demanded war. Others begged for surrender before it was too late. The galaxy had not been united in centuries. Yet now every empire faced the same fear. Humanity had not only returned, they had returned with a plan. Spies and historians searched old archives trying to piece together the truth. They discovered fragments of human history, records of battles, technologies, and the last wars before their disappearance. One phrase kept appearing, carved into human walls left on their broken ships: "Patience is power." The realization struck like lightning. Humanity had not died. They had hidden. They had waited. For centuries, while the galaxy laughed at their extinction, they had been building something in the shadows. Meanwhile, in the border systems, more fleets vanished. Whole outposts stopped responding. Refugees whispered that they saw multiple shapes in the void, not just one. Some claimed they heard different voices. Others swore they saw the glow of entire cities moving through space. Fear became unstoppable. Ordinary citizens stopped working. Merchants closed their routes. Armies refused orders. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy was not fighting itself. It was looking at the stars, waiting, dreading the moment when humanity would step out of the dark, and somewhere, in the silence between stars, the ancient vessel stirred again. This time it was not alone. The forgotten silence was over. The shadows now belonged to humans. The galaxy had been living in fear for weeks. Rumors of human vessels spread like fire, and the silence at the border grew heavier with each passing day. Yet no one had seen humans directly. No voice, no face, only whispers through static. That changed when the Coalition finally sent a war fleet to meet the shadows. The fleet was massive. Over 200 ships from 5 different species. Their hulls shone silver, green, and black. A rainbow of technology gathered together under one banner. Never before had these empires stood side by side, but fear of humanity had forced them to fight as one. Soldiers sharpened their blades, pilots tightened their gloves, and commanders told themselves they were ready. As the fleet entered the border stars, silence fell. Space was empty, too empty. Even the usual dust clouds and small signals were gone. It was as if the void itself had been wiped clean. Sensors searched, weapons charged, but nothing appeared. Hours passed, then days. Tension thickened until every breath felt heavy. Then on the third day it came. The black shape emerged from the void without warning. One moment the stars were clear. The next they were gone, hidden behind the sheer size of the vessel. It was not only bigger than their ships, it was bigger than their cities. A shadow that swallowed light. The alien commanders ordered formation. Weapons lit up like stars targeting the human vessel. Yet the giant ship remained still. No weapons raised, no shields glowing. It drifted forward with the slow patience of a predator. Then the fleet's comms came alive. A voice thundered across every channel, translated automatically into every tongue. It was deep, mechanical, yet carried weight that froze blood. We remember everything, no one moved. The words echoed like the sound of history itself returning. Every soldier felt the meaning. This was not just survival. This was vengeance. The commanders gave the order to fire. Hundreds of beams, missiles, and torpedoes shot across the void, crashing against the human vessel. Explosions lit the darkness, brighter than suns. For a moment, relief filled the alien ships. Perhaps the legends were lies. Perhaps this was only an old relic. But then the light faded. The human vessel was still there. Its hull, scarred but unbroken, gleamed faintly as if it had absorbed the attacks. Then slowly, parts of its body began to glow. Not shields, not weapons anyone recognized. Patterns of light spread across its surface like veins awakening after centuries of sleep. The ship answered. It did not fire cannons. It did not launch missiles. Instead, it unleashed energy unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Whole alien cruisers were sliced apart in silence, their hulls vanishing as if erased by invisible blades. Fighters exploded before their pilots could even scream. A destroyer turned to dust, its crew gone in less than a breath. The fleet panicked. Formations broke, ships scattered. Yet running did not help. Wherever they turned, the dark vessel was already waiting, as if the void itself bent to its will. One alien admiral tried to open comms. His voice shook as he begged, "Why return now? Why destroy us?" For a moment, silence answered. Then the voice returned, calm, cold, final. "Because you forgot." The alien fleet collapsed. Survivors fled into hyperspace, leaving behind wreckage and screams. Only a handful escaped to tell the story. They spoke of a human ship that could not be harmed, that moved like a ghost, that fought not with numbers but with absolute certainty. In the galaxy's heart, the news struck like thunder. Humanity had been seen. Not myth, not shadow, but real. And worse, the story said the vessel was only one among many. Markets crashed. Civilizations trembled. Old enemies abandoned wars to prepare for a greater threat. Fear was no longer whisper, it was everywhere, but fear was only the beginning. Because far away, beyond even the brave scouts, more signals began to appear. Dozens of echoes, dozens of shadows. The galaxy realized too late. What they faced was not the return of one ghost. It was the awakening of an entire force that had never died. Humanity had made their first move, and it was only the beginning. The galaxy was breaking under fear. Councils fought. Markets collapsed. Fleets mutinied. Every world whispered the same question. What do the humans want? In secret chambers, spies and historians worked day and night searching through ancient data. They dug into ruins, libraries, and fragments of old wars. What they found was worse than anyone had expected. Humanity had never destroyed itself. They had never fallen to their own violence. They had disappeared on purpose. The oldest record came from a forgotten archive on a desert moon. There, carved in stone, were the words of a human commander centuries ago. "We will not die. We will wait, and when we rise, the stars will remember us." Scholars pieced together more fragments. Reports of giant construction projects hidden in uncharted space. Testimonies of ships that went missing but were never found. Designs of supercarriers too massive to exist under normal resources. All of it pointed to one terrifying truth. Humanity had left the galactic stage only to prepare for something greater. While alien empires grew fat and careless, humans had gone into the void. building cities within ships larger than worlds, arming weapons no one could name, and training generations in silence. Patience had been their greatest weapon. The Council tried to bury the discovery, but it was too late. Rumors spread faster than fire. Citizens shouted in the streets, "They are not extinct, they are waiting." Soldiers deserted their posts. Some empires even turned on one another, accusing rivals of secretly helping the humans, but the truth could not be denied. More sightings appeared. Not just one vessel now, but many, huge shapes drifting through the void, their lights glowing faintly like sleeping giants. Every ship carried the same markings, old human symbols etched across their hulls, words the galaxy had forgotten but the humans never had. Meanwhile, in the border systems, panic became chaos. Planets emptied as refugees fled toward the core. Colonies locked themselves down, refusing to answer signals. Fleets that went to investigate did not return. And then came the message. It appeared on every channel, in every language, across every empire. The screen turned black, then filled with the image of a human face. Pale, scarred, eyes burning like cold fire. The voice was steady, sharp, and heavy with power. "We left because you were not ready. We watched while you grew weak, fighting each other like children. We built in silence. We remembered everything you did to us. Now we return, not as survivors, as rulers." The message ended. No demand, no negotiation, just truth. The galaxy trembled. Some leaders screamed for immediate surrender. Others shouted for war. But inside every mind, one thought echoed louder than commands, louder than fear. What if the humans were not lying? What if this was only the beginning? Hidden reports confirmed the worst. Spies had tracked more signals far beyond the border. Dozens, maybe hundreds of vessels larger than the first. All silent. All waiting. Some believed entire human civilizations were inside them. Generations raised in the dark, trained for war, ready to strike. The galaxy realized too late that the humans had not come back weak and begging. They had come back unstoppable. On one distant world, a young alien child asked his teacher, "What happens now?" The teacher had no answer, only silence, because for the first time in living memory, no empire, no fleet, no leader could promise safety. The truth was out. Humanity had returned and nothing could stop what was coming next. The galaxy waited in silence, but it was not the silence of peace. It was the silence before a storm. Every world, every empire, every citizen looked at the stars with fear. They all knew the same truth. Humanity was awake. At first, there had only been one ship. A giant, a shadow, a vessel that crushed fleets like insects. But now, reports came from all sides of the galaxy. The signals were spreading, one here, another there. Shapes too large to be natural, lights moving in the void. Every empire sent scouts, and every scout returned with the same story. Humanity was not one ship. Humanity was a fleet. In the council chambers, rulers shouted over each other. "We must unite before it is too late," one voice cried. "No," another argued. "We must surrender and beg for mercy." Yet none of their words mattered, because already the skies were changing. One night on the border world of Orthus, citizens watched as the stars above them disappeared. They thought it was an eclipse, a natural event. But then the stars came back, and they realized it was not the sky moving. It was ships, thousands of them. Colossal carriers drifting in perfect silence, their hulls glowing faintly like the hearts of sleeping titans. The people fell to their knees. They had no weapons, no defense. But the humans did not fire. Instead, their voices filled the air, carried through every comm, every channel, every language. We waited, we built, we endured. Now the galaxy belongs to us again. In the following days, chaos consumed the empires. Fleets refused to launch. Soldiers laid down their arms. Some planets surrendered before even seeing a single human soldier. Others tried to resist, but their defenses collapsed in hours. Against human carriers, even the strongest fortresses crumbled like sand. Yet the strangest part was this. Humans did not destroy everything. They did not burn cities or kill civilians. Instead, they claimed, world by world, station by station, the galaxy was not wiped out. It was taken. And with every step, one truth became clear. Humans had not returned as survivors of a lost war. They had returned as rulers. On one captured world, a group of alien prisoners asked their human overseer, "Why did you wait so long? Why hide for centuries?" The human looked at them with calm eyes and answered only one sentence: "Because patience makes victory absolute." Those words spread faster than weapons. They became legend overnight. Aliens repeated them with dread. Children whispered them as warnings. Soldiers carved them into their armor, not as pride, but as fear. Everywhere the galaxy bent, old alliances broke. Empires that had ruled for thousands of years now begged for human mercy. No one dared speak against them. And the truth settled deep into every mind. Humanity had not been erased. Humanity had only been waiting. In the dark of space, the human fleet gathered. Dozens, then hundreds, then thousands of carriers stood side by side. Their engines glowed with silent power, their hulls carved with symbols of old wars. From a distance, they looked like a wall of light stretching across the stars, endless and unshakable. In the center of the fleet stood the first vessel, the one that had awakened before all others. Its commander stepped forward to address the galaxy. His voice was carried on every channel, louder than fear itself. "For centuries, you thought we were gone. You thought our silence was death, but our silence was preparation. We are humanity. We are the storm you forgot. And now, the galaxy remembers." With that, the fleet moved, not slowly, not hidden, but unstoppable. They advanced through the stars like fire across dry fields, and everywhere they went, the galaxy bowed. The silence that had once erased humanity was broken forever. And this time, nothing would silence them again.